Hi, this is Cynthia Ortiz. It is October 24th, 2021. This is part 2. Remember, my first podcast for today was just shut off. Perry shut it off. He cloned my phone. That's why you see notifications pop up that have nothing to do with me. It's on his phone. He can type right over my typing, and believe me, he does. There's been a couple times where I'm trying to say pester, and he types over that prayers. I don't think you pray. You pray to your little doll. Did your little doll save you last night when I heard you guys? When you got recorded talking to the people I work with? Call us next time she's here. We got to get a foot imprint. Can't you get it someplace else? Nope, she's got to be out here. Richard's got to do it out here. You were getting my lighter. You were having my coworkers ask for my gum, cigarettes, lighter, getting my personal items so you could plant. Right? Yeah. You got to plant it as evidence. So if you look on, well, first of all, let's do this. Because Mr. Perry likes to alter evidence. When you fuck with my podcast, Mr. Perry, you're altering my evidence. You're showing that you're hacking or cloning my phone. And you're peeping because you're watching me do this. Because these are recorded. This is not live. Nobody could know I'm recording these unless they're peeping and hacking. And you know. And you alter the evidence. Don't you? That's a crime. You're a criminal. Let's do the disclaimer. Use allegedly. Use the but-for standard. But for Mr. Perry hacking, cloning, peeping, doing a dark web sex exploitation of women and children, like the witness said, and I repeated it so many times. It's in part 1 of this podcast. The witness statement. He installs cameras in women's homes when they're not there. Sells dark web. It sells watch time on the dark web. You know what, Mr. Perry? My cop guys said that the ones that just found out you were out at Sensations last night, wanting them to call next time I come in because you can't get my foot imprint any other way. You know what they told us, your victims? They said that money he's making off of that dark website that he's selling you, your body, to make a profit, that money belongs to you, and I promise we'll get it for you. If we can get what they just said, we're going to get your money back for you. All of you victims, that's your money. He's using your body without your consent and without your permission. We will be getting that money back for you. You know what else, Richard? The taxpayers are not going to pay for you to blow through their money to arrange a false arrest of someone who is a victim of crime, and you know that. That is not your money to blow through for a cover-up of a corrupt politician. And if the best you guys can do in your aspirations, in your career in law enforcement, is to be the bitch of a sex pervert, I don't know what to say for you. I have no words for you. I don't have any. But I'll tell you what, if I find... You know what I was doing last night? I was doing Uber Eats last night. Charles jams up my app. I had a hell of a time. It's very frustrating to have to deal with stuff like that. And Charles, my guys will charge you for that last night, what you did. Harassment of my witness by hacking. Harassment of my witness. The act is hacking. The act is fraud in court. The act is causing her duress because you're trying to frame her for a murder. You know good and well she didn't do. Right? Okay, so you got all this here that outlines a whole lot of perjury, suborning of perjury, details. You can also do a search here, and you can do a search on murder frame-up, second false arrest on this blog, and you can see blogs going way the hell back to like 2017 when Mr. Perry was trying to arrange a false arrest on murder. First, it was Caitlin Arquette. Caitlin Arquette was killed in Albuquerque. She was shot in the head going down the street 30 years ago. So I point out, well, okay, you can get my fingerprints, but the incidentals on my handprints, my fingerprints, are not going to be now what they were then. I didn't smoke then, and I didn't chew the same kind of gum then. They didn't even make the kind of gum I chew now. They didn't make it back then. The clothes that you were taking from Lady Godiva's when you first started with that one were new. They weren't from 30 years ago. All of that can be proven. You destroyed the evidence that you were trying to kill me. You destroyed the evidence that you were trying to kill Michael. You went into a court of law and you alleged that there was a political vendetta that led me to file a false police report. You obstructed justice and you destroyed my blood and hair evidence that would show I was poisoned and what with. Where's the evidence of a political vendetta, Mr. Perry? You live in the smallest district in Texas. You are 86% Republican. You're not worth an attack. I had a lifetime in politics, and you were the new guy. I didn't do Texas legislation. Where, sir, is the evidence of a political vendetta. You need to deal with reality and the truth. Because everybody else is. Like my kid used to run around with his eyes closed. Don't see me, don't see me. He grew out of that. Now he knows that you can't close your eyes and no one else will see you. You think everybody's as stupid as you. You were recorded talking to Fabian in 2017 when you started taking my cigarettes and my gum and my clothing items from Lady Godiva's. You told him, I'm going to find a way to lock her up again and she won't get out this time unless she's with me. You need to give up. You were recorded telling him that because he's not giving up. And you're a butt-in. You're not the wanted one. You're just a wannabe. You're pathetic. You're a pathetic little bitch you can't move on. All girled up. Sitting there watching TV with your little dolls. Where were your dolls last night and your unicorns last night when we quoted you verbatim? Talking to people I work with. Where were your dolls and your unicorns when I found out Mike Neely was drugged? And I said it before depositions were taken. Confirming that information. Where were your dolly then? Where was your dolly then? You have spent a decade turning my stomach. You have no chance of a date with me. Now, this delusional political vendetta, Mr. Perry, you're going to have to prove it because you look delusional. I didn't do Texas legislation. I never needed your help with a fucking thing. I had other people to call. You needed to meet the people I know, not the other way around. You were the new guy. The new guy has no pull. You don't know anybody. Nobody trusts you yet. I already knew people. I was in it all my life. I was born into it. My family was the power in Roswell where I grew up. My granddad believed power is in serving others. Relieve suffering caused by crime. And if the best you can do in your aspirations in law enforcement are to kiss the ass of a pervert, a sex pervert, and be his bitch like Sheriff Rowan on Clarice, I have no words for you. I have no words for you. So, Richard, please know, for the record, this murder thing was planned in 2017. Mr. Perry was recorded talking about it. Mr. Perry was recorded talking to Fabian about it. And at that time, it was Caitlin Arquette. I wasn't anywhere near Caitlin Arquette. Didn't know her. Hadn't heard of her. But he's hacked my Facebook, so he saw me talking to her mom. Her mom is Lois Duncan. Lois hired a PI. The PI investigated that and found out who did it. Look at who killed my daughter, Caitlin Arquette. Google it. Anybody can Google it. It was a high-profile case. She wrote a book called Who Killed My Daughter and One to the Wolves. 2 books on it. I met Lois at a writer's conference. She set the book down in front of me at a table. That's the first I'd heard of Caitlin Arquette. We didn't run in the same circles. I didn't do drugs. Never. I still don't do drugs. I've not even tried pot. She was running with some rough people, and that's who killed her. Mr. Perry, you get evidence from I've on the docket in the CJ case. I think it's like CJ-2017 or 18-02775. There are texts to Brittany, the waitress from way back when, a couple of years ago, about you taking my cigarettes from work. So, and I said, what are they going to do with my cigarettes? Why do they need those? There was all the cigarette butts. They would go gather them all up and take them in the back. Brittany was doing it, but I didn't get confrontational with her. I said, one of your guys was doing it because one of your guys was doing it too. You were going to plant that at that thing until I bring up, well, that was 30 years ago. They're getting all my clothing items from now. They're getting cigarettes that I smoke now. I didn't smoke back then. And when I first started smoking, it was on my 21st birthday, and I smoked Marlboro menthols. Back then, I haven't smoked menthols in years. Not in years. Now you want to try to get menthols and plant them now because I said now what I smoked, but I didn't smoke when Caitlin was killed. I didn't smoke at all. And the gum I chew now is not the gum I chewed back then. They didn't make it. They didn't make the gum that I chew now. They didn't make it back then. You got different incidentals on my hands from 30 years of cuts and burns that weren't on my hands back then. I've never in my life even held a firearm, much less discharged one. She was shot in the head. So I've told them, you're trying to plant evidence that you got just now. Mr. Perry met me in 2010. He had no access to my fingerprints 30 years ago. So He sees me talking to Lois on Facebook. Remember, he's a hacker cloner. He saw all the private messages and he gets an idea. Oh, I know, I'll frame her for that one. Yep, and we said it and said it and said it over and over and over and over. I've not even ever in my life tried to buy a gun. I've not asked questions about buying a gun. Actually, I had a conversation with Paul Scarborough. I said, Paul, I've never shot a weapon. And this was before you were trying to frame me for Kate's murder. Never shot a firearm. I wouldn't know how to take the safety off to save my life. If you and I are in a bank and the guy in the bank robber shoots you and I can get your gun and save myself or someone else, I wouldn't know how to take the safety off. He starts explaining it to me on the phone, which makes no sense to me at all. I got to see the gun in front of me for somebody to say, this is how you take the safety off. That's how little I know about guns. I don't care if other people get guns. I don't want one. Never tried to get one. You are fucked up, bitch. And you're caught. Because if I know about it beforehand, that means my guys are hearing what you're saying and they know good and well I didn't do anything like that. They would have put me in jail. They would have put me in jail, I promise. They know me inside, outside, backward, and forward. Charles, I've known them a whole lot longer than I've known you. Richard, you too. They know a whole lot more about this, Richard, than you know. They've got thousands of recordings of all you guys talking about doing all this crap to me. And you honestly think people are going to go, oh, we won't suspect a thing. Man, this judge is like the 50 phone calls about getting her ringtone and getting her car and getting her money and this murder frame up. I feel like I'm in the Alzheimer's ward at a nursing home. Because they've had the same conversations over and over and over. We're all bored. We're all bored with the repeat and the repeat and the repeat. Is she not telling them she knows? Yes, Your Honor, she has told them repeatedly she knows. Well, why are we still talking about it then? You got me. I don't know. Alzheimer's. I think they forgot. They talked about it yesterday and she caught him. And then they forgot that they talked about it the day before that and she caught him. And then the day before that and she caught him. And the day before that and she caught him. Well, actually, my guys caught you and they told me. I don't have the ability to get that kind of stuff. I mean, look at this. Perjury after fraud, after destruction of evidence, after perjury, after fraud. There's Justice Scalia. Questions about his death. Because you guys were going to send me home and claim that I was harassing you when I told on you. I moved twice to get away from you, Charles. And your drama. And your Jerry Springer show. And your soap opera. You don't know how pathetic you look to everybody else. You got another election coming up and you need a smear campaign. We get that. Everyone gets that. See, everyone else is not dumb like you. Everyone else is not stupid like you. They got it figured out. In a heartbeat. I was talking to a guy at in Stillwater. A law enforcement officer in Stillwater. And I was asking him questions about this Pinto guy you sent in. Because remember, you went into court and you got my claims dismissed. I wasn't there. You got my claims dismissed on jurisdiction. Jurisdiction requires all parties to be present at the hearing. So that's one Title 18. You got a lot of Title 18 of the United States Code violations. RICO Act. Racketeering. You're mafia. You're just the fucking mafia. That's all you are. But you're a serial killer, Mr. Perry, like BTK. Right? So, we got... Where's Mr. Ritchie? Let's find it here. This is my San Antonio. Reporting on the comments. A former D.C. homicide commander going at Scalia. A Supreme Court judge dies. And the man is a homicide commander. And he's going, if Justice Scalia died in Washington, D.C., we would have followed procedures, post-mortem procedures. And they did not do that in Texas, West Texas, where we all were when you were planning a false arrest of harassment. I was already in jail for the first false arrest that you'd been threatening and threatening and threatening. And I'd emailed and texted and emailed and texted and emailed and texted. And everybody knew you were threatening death and false arrest. And when someone threatens death and false arrest, you need a protective order. And I'd already tried to get one, and I forgot my police report, and you knew that. You knew. The law says you have to file a police report in Oklahoma in order to get a protective order. We've been through this or over this and over this. And within a week, you have me arrested for filing a false police report in retaliation for doing your job as a senator. And I think you're confused as to what the duties are of a senator. I didn't work on legislation in Texas. What was the issue? Going back to 2011, I'm telling all my friends and family, he's threatening, he's pulling up behind my house and watching me. My friend Cheryl saw what I didn't see. You went into a restaurant looking for me because I left my phone at home and went and ran errands, and you didn't know where I was because you were using my phone as a GPS, weren't you? But you should think I'm at home, but for cameras in my home. I left my phone at home. It should look like I'm at home. But you know I wasn't at home, so you went to where I normally would be on a Wednesday at Carino's with Cheryl. Wish you only knew about that because you're seeing us text each other. You like hacking women. You can't actually get a real date with a real woman, can you? So you hack and you peep and you sit there and have a pretend world, and you've been caught. How many times were you guys caught and told on before you met me, and how many after? Where was your dolly and your unicorn then? Where was your witches and your warlocks then? Where were they last night? You can't get a date with a real woman. A real one. You can't get, no, but you're not wanted. You're not loved. You're just a pathetic little bitch who can't move on. You're retaliating against a witness and a victim of your crime. That is a violation of Title 18 of the United States Code, Mr. Perry. Your attorneys are stupid. My prosecutor's not. He will be happy to explain to you what that law says and how you violated it. Because clearly, your attorneys can't figure it out. You know, they won't never, they won't ever let me in court, and I don't have a law degree. You've got access to, 50 attorneys. You've got your attorneys, and then Josh is in this, so he's got the whole Attorney General's office of Texas, who's also under indictment, I believe, isn't he? Well, you guys are just squeaky clean Baptist Christian people, aren't you? How embarrassing. So, he's going, wait, their procedures weren't followed, as they would have been had Justice Scalia died in D.C. So what happened in West Texas? Well, little did he know that while we were all over in West Texas, the reason procedures weren't followed, Commander Ritchie, is you were right on the money. I think the chances just went way the hell up that Justice Scalia was murdered and not died of natural causes. You can switch a pill out with somebody with him that did that, Charles. They planned it. It was all over the jail. What we're going to do is we're going to send her home. We're going to harass the hell out of her, do things to her car, try to frame her up on a murder twice, kill a cop trying to help her. It's going to cause duress. We're going to take her money. It's going to cause duress. Anything that causes duress, sir, is coercion. Charles, you need to shut up. You actually think I give a fuck what you say or what you think or what you want? You gotta get a grip on reality. You are really making a fool of yourself. This guy is always trying to communicate with me. He'll type in my computer when I'm on my phone. I don't care what you think. I've been out thinking you for a decade. How many times were you caught before I met you? How many after? So don't forget who it is you're talking to. You don't have a real romance. You don't have a real date. You're sitting around like a little girl watching TV, playing with a doll and a unicorn. And that doll and that unicorn weren't there for you last night when I quoted you, were they? Or when I found out Mike Neely was drugged before anybody else said it. Or when the McNamara email of 2015. You guys, the 2015 McNamara email was 6 years ago. And you've been recorded and recorded and recorded pretty much every day since. Pretty much every day since. Up to last night. Richard. You wanted my lighter. You wanted my cigarettes. You wanted my clothing items. We got to get her we got to get her back out to that club and get a foot imprint. And they said, "Can't you get it some other way?" Nope, she's got to be out at the club. Why? You call my attorney if you need something. You don't talk to my coworkers and you don't bother me with it. Because my guys know what you're trying to do and it's illegal, or I wouldn't know. David Robertson. How many times were you caught before you met me, and how many after? Matt, Josh, Joe, Charles, Richard, how many times were you caught before you met me, and how many after? Write it down. Write the number down. Pin it up on your computer. Because you don't seem to get it. If we caught you, and no one else has done that before, you got a machine after you. So, what my guys tell me is we're going to get your money that he's made from selling you online. He keeps offering, I'll give you whatever you want if you'll just lie. We just need you to apologize. We just need you to lie. My guys go, wow, he's fixing to go to prison, and then he won't be able to hurt you ever again. There won't be any more murder frame-ups. There won't be any more shit going wrong with your car. There won't be any, you won't have unless you just go, blow your money, you won't be broke ever again, because we're going to get your money back for you. We're going to get the taxpayers' money back for them too. That money is not yours to blow through, Richard. That is public money that is paid to a police officer to protect and serve. The ocean isn't in Arizona. It's in California. And you guys are spinning your wheels around in Arizona. Let's try to make an ocean here. We got to make an ocean here. And everyone can see you. So if I know about it, it wasn't legal. It was not legal. So this is what the guy is, questioning. You have a Supreme Court justice who died not in attendance of a physician. You have a non-homicide trained U.S. Marshal tell the justice of the peace there was no foul play. But there was no post-mortem examination and procedures were not followed in West Texas as they would have been if he died in D.C. He dies in West Texas, right where you're planning to perpetrate a fraud upon that court. And he was very much a proponent of the First Amendment. Flag burning is for protected speech, he said. If I'm king, I'd hang him. But I'm not king. We got a constitution that says he can do that here. You can not like this country and say you don't like this country. It's fine. We might not like you, but constitutionally, he has the right to say, I don't like this country, and burn the flag. And that was the Supreme Court judge you were worried about, because you were about to commit fraud on his court too. We're going to send her home. We're going to harass the hell out of her. And when she talks about it, we'll say she's harassing us. And you can't say you didn't plan that, because that's exactly what you did in Judge Cummings' court. And I sent the email about it well before you did it. But you got Alzheimer's. You forgot I had that email, didn't you? I got a bunch of them. That was discussed with Ted, my attorney, second he picked me up from jail. Because it was all over that jail. Apparently, Matt Powell told some other attorneys in Lubbock, Lubbock is small. Something happens at 8 o'clock. By 8:11, it's all over town. Everybody knows. You act like you were born yesterday, Charles. You act like you fucking are operating with the brain of a little young child. Our shrink is pretty sure you've got severe degenerative disease, aging, or you're mentally retarded. She says you need more testing. You need some tests done. You need a brain scan. Because when you know you're caught, you keep doing the same thing. You have the same conversation, and you got a judge going, I feel like I'm in the Alzheimer's ward at a nursing home. Listen to these people talk about the same thing over and over and over. They get caught. They know they're caught, and they have the same conversation again. It's pathetic. So you had him first question that. Because it didn't happen in someplace else. It happened in West Texas. Justice Scalia didn't die any other time in any other place. He died in West Texas right then when you were planning that second false arrest. Mike Neely had not a mark on him. And I said beforehand, months before, he was drugged. He didn't do this. He slept through the whole thing. That's why I can't remember anything. There's nothing on him. Even the arrest report says he had nothing on him except a right swollen hand and a busted lip from hotel staff throwing him face first into the floor, pulling him off lucky. After that, he was already gone. Like he was gone. So, how do you beat a guy to death with one hand and end up with not a mark on you? You can't. And that's not even it. He had an IV in that hand. That's why it's red and swollen. You thought I wouldn't Sherlock that? As many times if you had people ask me if I'm a cop, you thought I wouldn't Sherlock that? Man, that day, the next day after we all found out what happened, I get a text about it. Lucky's dead. The officer who took your complaint on your vandalism in your car is accused. He's in jail. I'm like, what the fuck? 6 days after I file a vandalism report. And Lucky was already telling me, he told you, just get your hands out of my wallet. He said, I told him, get your hands out of her wallet. You're pissing everybody off. Starting to ask questions about a forged marriage license. That's not a marriage, it's a forgery. It's a crime. Marriage fraud, it's a crime. I've said over and over, I want a divorce if something's actually filed. And half of everything you own. You don't have a choice. Because I never consented to any such thing to begin with. So, Richard, what planet do you live on that you think I'm the criminal here? I mean, you need to look at the evidence and stop trying to create evidence. That's what law enforcement officers do. Is the best you can do your aspirations in your career. Are you in law enforcement or are you just, some crony Perry hired? I don't even know. They haven't told me that. If you're a cop and your highest aspirations in law enforcement in your career is to be the bitch of a sex pervert, I have no words for you. I don't even know what to say to that. The job of law enforcement is to gather the evidence, and it will tell you the story of what happened to the victim. It will say it. Somebody's life was broken. And it's your job to relieve the suffering caused by crime and make sure it doesn't happen again. And you owe the TPD owes the Miller kids a huge apology. And Manfred Police Department, I saw the look on Jerry Ridley's face when he was talking to me, and he's hurt. They hurt. Everybody in that town hurt. I was out there when that happened. Somebody came running to my door, banging on the door, just after I got that text. They got them both, she said. They got them both. She looked at me. I mean, it was like everybody knows who did this. Wasn't Mike. You hurt people. You broke people's hearts. There is not a day that goes by that I don't think of the Neelys and the Millers. And how can I get Mike out of jail? Because my guys right now, they'll get him out eventually. But right now, it's a need to know. Nobody can know who they are. It was up to me. Because everyone knows who I am. But if it's a need to know and they don't want you to know who they are and they'll blow the whole case, they're not going to come out right now. I can't even get paid. Because y'all are all up in my bank accounts. Everybody knows how much money I have in my account. What is she going to do for a living? Where's she going to work? What is she going to do for money? Let's try to cut off everything that she could do to make money so she has no choice but to go to that club so we can get her foot imprint and frame her for this other murder. And then Charles can get elected. Because it's election season again and he needs to start back in jail. Who do you think you're fooling? I can't tell you. If my guys know what you just said, they got an ear to the ground in a lot of places. You're pissing people off like a motherfucker. What we hear the most is, I can't believe they did that to her. People say that all the time. I can't believe they did that to her. And reporters hanging up the phone going, those bitches lied to me again. They think I'm stupid. I'm sick of those guys lying to me. I just talked to Matt and Charles. They're lying to me again. Who do they think they're fooling? You don't know? People say that behind your back. See, you got everybody scared. So they don't say things to your face. Either one, you're wasting their time and they're not going to let you waste their time by arguing with you and they know you're just going to lie. Number two, you cause a threat over and over and over. You cause threats. You kill people, Charles. Everyone knows that. You cause people to lose a job. Everyone knows that. They don't want to have to deal with it. So they'll tell you whatever you want to hear to your face, but it's not that way behind your back. You are the most unwanted, hated man around. When you're mean to people, they're not going to like you. Nobody likes watching one person cause hardship for another. How many times I got to say the same thing? Peeping is a crime. Hacking is a crime. Stalking is a crime. It is not a romance. You don't have anything real. You're making a fool of yourself. You are making a fool of yourself. You can't even do what Bill Clinton did. He had a scandal. At least he got something out of that. You've not even done that. You've had 10 years and you fuck up because you're a criminal. And this is a job. There was never even there was nothing. You have never had a chance with me. It's funny that you thought you did. You're the butt of a dirty joke. You've reduced yourself to that. So you want to frame me? You want my imprint? And we got you guys last night. We need our foot imprint. Charles, once you're caught, you're caught. 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 Charles, no one cares what you think. You were not asked, were you? Charles, no one cares what you think. You were not asked, were you? You forget who you're talking to. How many times were you caught before you met me and how many after? You need to remember who it is you're talking to when you start trying to talk to me. I don't care what you think. You don't even get it, do you? So I'm going to pause this for a second and I'll be right back. Okay, so we were going over the history of fraud and perjury in a court of law. So the first fraud and the first perjury, actually, hang on. Okay, look at this right here. It's a whole album. There was the email of the harassment email of April 11th, 2018. 2018. But guess what? There's a whole lot more than this one. They go way back to when I first got home in 2016. We're going to send her home. We're going to harass the hell out of her. And then when she says something about it, we're going to claim she's harassing us. And they planned this when I was in jail for the first false arrest, when they committed perjury before. So you got guys that go into a court of law and lie under oath, under penalty of perjury, 5 years minimum per count. And now they think everybody's going to believe it when they want to frame me for a murder? Just like they did Mike Neely. And you think reporters aren't going to complain when they talk to you on the phone and you lie? I promise you, there was a very prominent one right after I got home that hung up the phone. He was nice as hell to you, Charles. Oh, yes, sir. Yes, Senator. Oh, yes, sir. He hung up the phone and he goes, that sick son of a bitch is lying to me. Boy, nothing pisses me off more than that. You think people are dumb like you? You're wrong. You think wrong. I don't think you can think anymore. So our judge is hearing the same recordings of you guys over and over and over and over. And I feel like I'm in an Alzheimer's unit at a nursing home, he said. What is wrong with people that have already been caught and they keep trying to do it? Do they not know they're caught? Is she not told them they're caught? And our guys, yes, Your Honor, she has told them. Every time they're caught. They still go at it? Yep. Wow. It's so easy, it's not even fair when you're dealing with somebody with that mindset. And Charles Perry never shuts up. He's always got to tell me what he thinks and how he feels and what he wants. Charles, my guys tell me, we're going to get your money back that he made off your body, and you're not going to have to lie. He'll give you money if you lie. We're going to get your money back to you, and you won't have to lie. The same way they got what you did last night, Richard. Getting her lighter, getting her cigarettes, getting her, having her coworkers watch her cell phone while she talks to her attorney. That's protected under attorney-client privilege. You got my coworkers, and I'm going to tell you something. I have nothing against my coworkers or my family or anybody I work with that you use to hurt me, my kids, because we know what you do. You don't want to end up like her, do you? Wave a few dollar bills. We'll make it worth your while. Wave a few dollar bills, make a few threats, and you get people to lie. Or do what you want. You wanted my lighter. I think we addressed this on a podcast a long time ago with Monica. Right? You were using Monica to try to get my lighter. And then you were afraid she told. What? Monica didn't tell any. She didn't say a word to me. Monica said nothing. She said not a word. Wasn't her, somebody else. See, that's the thing, Richard. There's another police investigation going on, and these guys are much better at it than you are. Do you really, the biggest aspiration you guys have, I'm going to tell you something. Not all Oklahoma law enforcement is your bitch, Charles. Lucky wasn't. But I tell you what, you think that's going to happen again, you're thinking wrong. Robertson was recorded talking to a local law enforcement officer. Are we not paying you enough? Just find something to charge her for. We're paying you. That was recorded, David. Yeah, wake up. I mean, this has been going on since the McNamara email of 2015. 6 years. Everything you guys say over and over and over. You look ridiculous. So easy. It's not even fair. So this harassment email, I guess Powell told some attorneys in Lubbock. They all told their clients, and it was all over the jail. And guess what? Those people went home and they talk, oh, it's all over everything. Because you're a senator. So, oh, I know the girl that the senator, blah, blah, blah. It's a high profile thing. People want to look important. So they make sure, oh, yeah, I knew that chick. Guess what that guy was going to do to her? People talk because you're a senator. You don't think they do? The DA and the senator are their buddies. They're BFFs from Sunday school. And they're all lying in court about this chick. Because she won't be his bitch. I don't kiss the ass of a sex pervert. Not my thing. Not my thing. My goals are a lot bigger than that. I'm going to show you guys how to slay a dragon. Because this is a big one. And you know that. Everyone knows that. But I have help. I couldn't do it alone. But I'm going to tell you something. As good as I am, my guys, the 40 cops, Richard, they can think circles around you in their sleep. They have been all these years. There is not an ocean in Arizona. There's no crime in me. The crime is with Charles Perry. And you let a cop get killed and we're not happy with you. We're not. These guys that do this shit can't stop, Richard. They'll reoffend and reoffend and reoffend until they fuck with the wrong people. And we're way past that. You ought to know better. You ought to know better. I didn't kill anybody. You know that. This guy's a history of lying in court. So we had that in 2018. Well, a couple months after that, his attorney sends me a letter. This was sent in September. See? September. And I'm telling his attorney, your client is threatening me all the time. Your client is threatening me all the time. Your client is threatening. This is the same as a McNamara email. It's different. He's threatening me with this. I'm specific. The threats are specific. And he wants the emails sent to him. See? Well, I have the reasonable expectation his attorney is going to restrain his client. That's not what he did. He took all my emails into court and claimed exactly what this email says. She's harassing us. Judge, dismiss her claims. I file a motion to vacate on fraud. Because I could have submitted this email, Mr. Perry, with my objection. Because I filed an objection. Doesn't do a whole lot of good to file objections in your lawsuits. What we're trying to set you up for a fraud charge. Because you're committing fraud. So I held on to this. I had no legal obligation to give it to you. But you knew I had it because you hack. But you have Alzheimer's, so you forgot I had it, didn't you? So what I did is I waited. I didn't file it with the objection. But this is premeditation right here. You planned it. And I said it in April. And your attorney starts asking about it in September. April, May, June, July, August, September. 5 months later. Right? Beforehand. I'm always saying it beforehand. Richard, I know beforehand. Because you have cops on you. Good ones. Some that aspire to relieve suffering caused by crime for their career in law enforcement and catch a really bad guy. Not be the bitch of a sex pervert. Sheriff Rowan. You know Clarice? Sheriff Rowan? Sheriff Rowan is my bitch. I own all those people down at the county courthouse. Didn't he say that? Clarice, CBS? So, let me tell you something. When the Hunger Games first came out, my son comes home from watching, I think it was the second one. My son comes home and he goes, Mom, you need to watch that movie. That chick is you. And I go, what do you mean? He goes, just watch the movie. I mean, Katniss, that is you. He goes, she's compassionate. She gets very hurt over other people getting hurt. But she gets pissed. She's like you. She gets pissed and she starts fighting like a motherfucker. So keep that in mind. The character, Clarice, on the CBS show, Clarice, and a Katniss, and a little bit of Chief Johnson on the closer. I'm that, rolled up into one. You got to be able to look back on history and how I handle things and how I deal with things and how I approach things and how I address things to figure me out. You would think. Aren't you a police, Richard? Are you police, Richard, or are you just some crony Charles hired? You know, if you're a cop, you need to identify yourself as a cop. But you got cops on you because you're corrupt, aren't you? You're on the top of the shit list, Richard. Can't get her foot imprint if she's not out here. Richard can't get her foot imprint unless she's out at the club. There's nothing wrong with what we're asking you to do. Actually, there is. Call my attorney and don't fuck with me again. The people that I work with, you're using them to hurt me, and we all know it. I've never held that against them. I've never said a cross word to them. I go in and I pretend nothing's wrong. I go in, we don't talk about this. I go in, I do my job, I hug them, I ask them how they're doing, and we have a good night, in spite of you. In spite of you. And if I go back, I'm not going to say a word about it. I'll act like I don't know a thing. That's my way. I don't harass people. I don't give them shit. I don't bother people. I go in, I work, I hug them. I let them know I care about them. I make my money and I go home. And it's been that way for 6 years. Because you've been doing this to me for a decade, but 6 years in Oklahoma. I'm 7. It's 7 now. You like hurting people, so you go rub one out, Charles? Is that who you are? You don't have any real romance. There's no real love life. Do you know a 1-year-old little girl can sit and watch TV and pretend? My kids used to do it when they were little. They'd put the Toy Story on and go dress up like Woody and Buzz Lightyear. They had the PJs. They'd go dress up like Steve on Blue's Clues. My son made me buy him the shirt and the khakis. He got a little, handy-dandy notebook or whatever. So, that's what little children do. And that's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. You're pathetic. It's ridiculous. And if you're a corrupt cop, is that the best you can do in your career in law enforcement? You aspire to be the bitch of a sex pervert? I hope not. I pray not. So, we got this harassment, and that's when they were planning this is when Justice Scalia died. And then you have the D.C. homicide commander questioning why weren't procedures followed in West Texas as they would have been had he died in D.C. So you need to pay attention to what's going on here, what you're up against. It's a machine, Richard. They just railroaded over you last night. Ran right over you. You need to remember who it is you're talking to, because nobody's done what we've done. Right? So they did exactly what they said. And I've got this. Mr. Powell calls up here constantly and bugs everybody. We need to get her whereabouts. See? He was recorded. They will not quit asking about my whereabouts. And this was dated June 17th, 2018. It's highlighted right there. Well, sure as shit, not long after that, I get mail at my protected address. They'll break the law and they don't think twice about it. Mafia. You think people are going to believe you on a faked up murder charge? Because I keep saying this stuff before. That means you're being investigated and I'm getting tipped off by cops that are investigating you. It's illegal what you're trying to do or I wouldn't know about it. And I'm only told about that which pertains to me. What about everybody, all your other victims? What do they have on that? Okay, so you figure that out. You guys are something. This is the McNamara email. Every day since this email, you've been recorded. A whole lot more than you know. Richard. See? He wants me arrested. This was in October 2015. This is the law. You have to file a police report. I filed a police report. And a week later, I'm thrown in jail for retaliating against a public servant for doing his job as a senator. We think you're confused about what your legislative duties are, sir. Put up or shut up. These are my communications way back when 2011, long before I could have anticipated what he was going to do to me in 2015 and 16. False arrest. He's pulling up behind my house and watching me. It's creepy. Sitting on me in public. He's a married man. Sometimes his wife is even in the room. Charles, you and I are not a couple. Deal with reality. You have nothing real. In 10 years, we've not been together because I don't want you. Charles, write it down. I'm tired of repeating myself. Tell yourself the truth. You're a peeping Tom, and that's all you are. You have nothing real. You're like a little child, watching TV, pretending that's your life. We've never been together. You make my stomach turn. You have spent a decade bothering me and making my stomach turn, and you're pathetic. Everybody's sick of you. I don't think you're getting that. Now, they tried to get a shrink. They got 2 Texas Tech shrinks to try to say I'm crazy, I'm delusional. But I call a shrink in Oklahoma an expert witness, criminal psychologist, and I'm like, I might need you to evaluate me and testify for me that I'm not crazy. Because I was telling everybody he's trying to arrange a false arrest. Kind of like I am now. Trying to frame me for a murder. Not the first time. Trying to take my car. Because you guys are recorded all the time. But I was telling people that he was trying to arrange a false arrest. Then he did. There's video surveillance. He asked me, what kind of evidence do you have? I said, well, I was poisoned. They were supposed to keep my blood and hair and test me for that. They didn't. There's a video surveillance. That's gone. And he goes, huh. Okay, well, I have to see all that to make any kind of determination at all. Because when we diagnose delusion, what we do is we look at what you're looking at. And if you see something we don't see, that's delusion. But being that they destroyed your evidence, or failed to preserve it, or both, it doesn't look to me like you're delusional. Why would they do that? And you're telling me they were threatening you and you were talking about it. You have emails and texts, yes? Cheryl Underwood saw something I didn't see. She said, Charles went looking for you. He came to this restaurant where we are. That's the day I went running errands. I left my phone at home. Which he should think I'm at home if he GPS'd my phone. He knew I left. He went looking for me. I wasn't there. I didn't see it. Cheryl saw it. Right? I'm talking about not abortion or gun rights or whatever Charles imagined as a political vendetta that would make me file a false police report in retaliation of his job. I didn't do Texas legislation. What job, Perry? What part of your job was I retaliating against? Because all this is about stalking, and this was in 2011. So once again, we ask you, did you just boldface lie? And that means you were lying then, but not now? See, you've lied and lied and lied and lied and lied. You lied about her being harassed. You're provoking. It's called entrapment. You're provoking. That's why I always assert the but-for standard. But-for, you're causing me duress 24/7. It causes me duress when you watch me in the privacy of my home against my will. It's disgusting. You should be embarrassed that you do that. Why aren't you? Our shrink says you're mentally retarded and don't know you should be. It embarrasses everybody else. Everybody's sick of you. My guy says, I'm going to make sure you get your money from him doing that to you. It's like rape. Sexual exploitation of women and children. You will get paid for that. That is your money. And the other victims too. And you will not have to lie. You won't be broke again ever. Unless you just blow your money. What are you dealing with? Don't forget who you're talking to. No one has caught your crime more than we have. No one, Richard. I can out-cop you with my eyes closed. Do you understand that? I am. That's how I found out about what you did last night. We just got to get her back out to that club so we can get our foot imprint. Can't get it any other place. And know what we're doing isn't wrong? Yes, it is. Call my attorney. Don't do anything again without going through my attorney. Do you understand? I am lawyered up, and you know that. Don't do another fucking thing without going through my attorney. When I go to work, I don't talk about anything with my coworkers. I act like I know nothing. I always have. That's how I survive. It's inappropriate for me to discuss it with them, isn't it? So I don't. Whatever else is going on. How are your kids? How's baseball? How's football? Your kids are in. How's your, how's your family? How you guys doing? You good? Good. Okay. And we all go dance. We all go work. That's how I've done this for 7 years. So I'm telling my friends back then, he's pulling up behind my house. He's a fucking creepster. How awful. Nothing here about abortion. When I say I didn't hurt him, Jordan, what I'm saying is he hit on me on public. I didn't go to the media with that, Jordan. I went to you. And you were gracious and threatened to ruin my business. That's how you responded to that. What if somebody else said it? You should be glad it was me that said it, not threatened me. But that's your way, isn't it, Charles? You're mafia. Huh? Right? So our shrink, that shrink goes, but see, we have here, she saw something I didn't see. So they lied. Oh my gosh, another lie. We've got a lie about a political vendetta that didn't exist. Charles imagined it. Just like he thinks there's a love affair by peeping. That's a date. Nope, that's a crime. Get real. You've never been on a date with me, nor will you ever be on a date with me. You're about to have a date with a bunch of dudes in prison. Don't forget what Dr. Cyril Weck said. Even prisoners are repulsed by sex perverts like you. You're pathetic. You're drama queen. So we got the McNamara email well before my false arrest. See? Let's do this one more time. This is the law. You must file a police report. And the second one, denied because I didn't bring it to court with me. It's Marler versus Clower. This is the case law in Oklahoma. I'm getting texts. I'm getting sick. Are you giving me arsenic and phenobarbital? Yeah. Well, we don't still know what it was, because they ruined and destroyed my evidence. Powell didn't preserve any evidence at all. He had no intention of going to trial. It was a false arrest. Now, what's it, how far is it off to do another one, right? You lie once, you'll lie again, and you'll lie again, and you'll lie again. That's just who you are. This is filed on the 21st of 2016. This was my arrest date. 29th. You think you can do an investigation in a week? Not preserve the evidence. Don't test me for poisoning to see, rule it out, or confirm it. So there was no crime, Mr. Richard. I'm the victim of a crime. And people are upset with Tulsa police that they didn't go after these guys, charge them with obstruction of justice, destroying my evidence of perjury. Now we have Dead Lucky and Framed Mike, almost dead Mike. And they've tried to kill me again. They want to frame me for murder? Wow. Because it's election time and Charles needs a cover-up. But I found out before. Same way I did with the McNamara email. Because you guys, I get all, so the charges were dismissed a year and a half later by Mr. Powell. Because after a year and a half of trying to get me on this, or trying to get me on that, trying to get me on this, trying to get me on that. I'm not a criminal, Richard. There wasn't anything to get me on. Finally had to dismiss it. So, Detective Egan didn't call until the 15th. Justice Scalia was dead at this point. He had died. I think, on the 13th? I arrive in Lubbock on February 11th. I'm arrested on the 29th, held at Creek County Sheriff's Department, or jail. And I'm taken to Lubbock on the 11th of February. She calls on the 15th. I'm sitting in jail. She's asking me for the evidence. But I've been, by physical force, prevented and delayed from reporting the crime. Title 18 of the United States Code. Charles, my prosecutor's going to explain to you what your attorney's is too stupid to. Cracker Jack box law degree. Our prosecutor's going to sit you down and explain it to you. Because your attorney is dumb and can't do it. And you're part of that 1% of the population. Criminologist Lonnie Athens talks about you can't keep up with the rest of us. 99% of people in this world, the population, is not a violent offender. Including him, and he was abused. You're inept. You're stupid. Because smart people don't commit crime. You find a legitimate way to deal with what happened to you. Find a way to do something good with it, like he did. You brutalize me every fucking day. Me and my son. Drama, drama, drama. You traumatize us. You cause duress. You traumatize us. You cause duress. Because threatening somebody's home and car and finances, that's a pretty big loss to threaten. Threaten a false arrest on a faked up murder, that's a pretty big thing. That's going to cause some duress. Killing the cop trying to help me and framing the other one, that has caused a great deal of duress to me. My guys, I just said, they're looking for everything you're doing to cause me duress. Getting peeped on in my house when I've told you to get the fuck out, causing me duress. You're sick. You're a sick, twisted motherfucker. You mafia guys, do you not see that this is your weak link? When you mess with me, you get caught. When you mess with me, you get caught. You did last night. Richard needs her out at this club to get her foot imprint. Shoe imprint. When you mess with me, you get caught. When you mess with me, you get caught. When you mess with me, you get caught. You want to take my shoe while I'm dancing? You want to take my shoe? Richard, we duly noted for the record. The judge heard about it last night right after you said it. You're caught. Because everyone knows I'm not a killer. It's not my way. I have very big, huge motive to want to kill Charles Perry. Because once he's gone, I don't have to deal with this shit anymore. It's over. And yet, here he is, still fine. Nobody's hurting him. Nobody's threatening him. He's fine. Because that's not my thing. What I've asked for is the death penalty. Because there's more than one premeditated murder, Mr. Perry. that my guys know about. Because, Richard, we look in California for the ocean, not Arizona. It's what smart people do. Follow the evidence. Let's not cook up some lie and hope that Cynthia, we all have to ask if she's a cop. We all know who this is. We all know keeps catching us. McNamara email was 6 years ago. It's been every day since. I just quoted you talking about my ringtone. You think you're going to fool us? You think my guys wouldn't know if I killed somebody or not? They would. They know you're trying to frame me again because it's election time. You were told, I've seen that girl. She will find out what you're trying to do. She will hunker down and she won't go. And I've seen her go without electricity and food. But she's not going to where you go and she's not going to do what you want her to do. That guy's right. That guy knows me pretty fucking well. You need to learn how to listen and pay attention and watch what's going on around you and properly assess the situation. Every time you guys, we do these podcasts or we put something out that we found out you just did or you just said, and the response is never appropriate. The shrink has taken note of that too. That you have always failed to respond appropriately to what's being said to you. It's weirdo. You're weirdo. So you mafia guys need to take Charles to Vegas and find him some sick, twisted bitch who's all weirdo like him. Because he and I are as different as night and day and west and east. Find him some sick, twisted chick that likes S&M, weirdo shit. And hook him up with her. So he'll get off my back. And he'll probably go better for you. Once you guys leave me alone. When you fuck with me, you get caught. When you fuck with me, you get told on. When you fuck with me, you get caught. When you fuck with me, you get told on. And you have no idea how we do what we do. But it's the first time that's ever happened to you. Your own guy, Charles, said when he pesters her and when he takes her money, things don't go well for us. We've seen things happen we've never ever seen before. Did you want to get my whole family to sue me? Did you do that? Did you threaten them? I'll ruin your business if you talk. I'm going to impose in your life in the most heinous, hideous way imaginable. And I'm going to go to you. And I'm going to be all nice. And I'm going to say to you, I'm going to hurt her. I'm going to steal her car. I'm going to put her in jail under false pretenses, doing a fraud upon a court. Because I can. Or I think I can. And you're going to help. And if you leak, I'm going to ruin your business. Or I even think you leak, I'm going to ruin your business. It's like Hitler, our shrink says. It's psychological torture. That's your family. They love you. They want you to be happy. He's making them hurt you against their will and threatening harm to them if they don't. It's coercion, duress, same thing you always do. You are who you are. Like attracts like. And you repulse me. You repulse me. You've spent 10 years turning my stomach. We've never been on a date, and we will never go on a date. You guys, you mafia guys, if you want my guys to back off you, you better get him off me. And I better not have one more problem. Get him some S&M weird chick, sick, twisted bitch. Go to Vegas. They got all kinds of bitches over there. Going into a fetish club, Charles, you can peep, and it's not illegal. There's legal ways to work out your deviancy. There's deviant acts. And then there's criminal deviant acts. It might be deviant. It might be outside social norms to peep. And, these guys that like to lick toes and shit. S&M stuff. It might be called deviant. But you do it in a proper setting, like a strip club, a fetish club, where that's allowed. And the other party has agreed to allow you to do that. It's not at their house. It's in a club. It's in a business. You're going to pay for the services. It's not free. You have to pay. You think you're going to use my body and it's just free? You're about to have to give me my money that you made off of my body and that you used getting entertained off my body. And my guy says, you won't have to lie. Baby, you will not have to lie. You can get your money. It's your money. We're already working on that right now. You will not have to lie, baby. You got it. We got this for you. We got it for all the victims. And taxpayers are going to get back their money from these little bitches who kiss his ass and compromise themselves, compromise their positions, because taxpayer dollars are not for you to use personally. to just blow through because you need to cover up. That is not your money to blow through, Richard. That money belongs to the people. The people, not you. You don't use law enforcement, Charles, to retaliate and intimidate people. The justice system, the criminal justice system, is not to use for you to lock up the person who's done more to expose your crime than anybody you know. We wanted you to get elected so you to be public because we have a strategy here. We always did. You're a lot more exposed. You're a lot easier to get to when you're an elected official, aren't you? You think this is the first time this has happened? You think my guys haven't done this before as successfully? They have. They have. If we didn't want you in office, you wouldn't be in office. We want you in office. But you're not going to put me in jail and go, well, it's election time again. I need her in jail, so she has to shut up. Because she knows what I really am. She took the mask off, and I'm mad about it. Everybody knows that's what you're doing. You're born yesterday, but the rest of us weren't. So, you didn't even, there's not even a week here. 21st. And I'm charged and hauled out, prevented by physical force, prevented and delayed from reporting the crime against me. All my evidence, Scott and Matt Powell didn't preserve blood and hair to rule out or confirm arsenic or something that was making me sick. And if Charles wasn't having me poisoned, he would have had me tested and then had a press conference and done the, drama, poor me, she lied. See, we had her tested and there was nothing in her blood or hair. See, she's just lying, she's just picking on me. But he didn't do that. He made sure there was no test. Failed to preserve my video surveillance of the night I'm reporting what all happened at Lady Godiva's. That didn't preserve shit. So, Richard, you want to get my coworkers to take my cigarettes, my gum, my clothing items, watch me on my phone, get my shoe imprint, my foot imprint. We here last night. You're caught, Richard. Boy, you are going to jail right along with them. I promise you. You need a criminal defense attorney, Richard. This puzzle was given to me in jail. That's not really the best one. This puzzle was given to me in jail. Not some random time in my life, Charles. While you had me illegally incarcerated. While I'm illegally incarcerated, you're planning the next one, the harassment one, which you did in civil court, and it was a lie. It was a lie. Where she's harassing us? Nope. You're harassing her and she told on you. The same way every stalking victim everywhere does. Polly Peretti, Drew Carey's ex-girlfriend, the TikTok girl, all the people who are in groups on Facebook or Reddit or whatever else that are stalking victims. We all complain about it, Mr. Perry. It's weirdo. If you were hot and sexy or smart, you could get a real date with a real woman and you wouldn't have to sit around watching TV pretending, playing with your little doll and your little unicorn like a 1-year-old little girl can do. That's your skill set. That's the best you can do. So, in this puzzle, my guys gave this to me in jail. It's not just any name on it. It's Fabian's name, intersecting with the word hope. It's not Jason or John or Paul or Sam, it's Fabian's name, intersecting with the word hope. The word boo is a private joke between one of these cop guys and I, Richard, that has known me forever and knows I don't kill people. Not my way. Not my way. Look at it this way. If I made a phone call and Perry's gone, he disappears. He's in the desert. He's Jimmy Hoffa. And I don't have to worry about this ever again. Because I promise you, they could do it in a way it's not linked to me. And this is all over. I wouldn't have gone through this for 10 years, would I? If I was that kind of person. Because nobody wants this to end more than I do. Yet Mr. Perry's not under any threat at all. Never. He's not lost his car. He's not had his vehicles wrecked. He's not had his family, ripped from him. He's not had to go through what I've gone through, financial loss. Now, he may have investors pull out. That's criminal money. It doesn't count. Does not count. The word sad is the sadness and fear he causes every day, all day long. It's called coercion, Mr. Perry. You're causing people duress to change a testimony, to change a statement, to get people to do what you want and lie for you and commit a crime for you. Get her family to pressure her. Witness tampering. We need her to lie. Get her family to pressure her, because we'll put pressure on them, and then they'll put pressure on her. Get her coworkers to pressure her. We'll put pressure on them, and then they'll pressure her. All of that is RICO violations. My prosecutor will explain it to you, since your attorneys are too dumb. Okay? If they can get what you just said last night, and they can get this to me in jail, what else can they do? I promise you, you don't know yet. You don't know. You will not like it. You're the butt-in, Charles. You're selfish. You're alone. Because when you focus on you, you is all you end up with. Nobody's with you. Nobody wants you. I don't love you. I think you're disgusting. You need to write it down, because I'm sick of repeating that. There's nothing here. We are not in a couple. We're not a couple. I don't like you. Doesn't go both ways. You might sit around all day and fantasize about me. I am not fantasizing about you at all. That is all in your head. You look ridiculous. You look stupid. You're pathetic. You're just a voyeur rapist is all you are, and that is the best you can do. So can a 1-year-old little girl. How embarrassing. It's election time, Richard. Of course he wants to arrange another false arrest. He needs me shut up. But guess what? This goes way beyond just me. You ought to be able to figure out that by now. The judge is getting irritated about y'all talking about the same thing. I feel like we're in the Alzheimer's ward at a nursing home. So many of the same conversation over and over and over and over. Didn't she tell him? Yes, Your Honor, she's told him and told him and told him and told him and told him. You know, one of those things I've said over and over and over and over is, Charles, I don't care what you think. I don't care what you want. I don't care what you need. I didn't ask you. You were not asked. You know what you were asked? Get the fuck out of my life. Don't contact me again in any way, shape, or form, because when you do, it pisses me off. When you piss me off, you piss 40 cops off. And guess what I start doing? Please hurry up and arrest him. Please hurry up and wrap this up and arrest him. Please hurry the fuck up and arrest him. Please hurry up and arrest him. That's what I say when you contact me. I hate it. When you peep and hack, when you invade my privacy, when you bother me, when you threaten me, when you take my money, when you cause drama and problems. And the longer I'm broke, because you take my money and don't get your hand out of my wallet and stop interfering with my ability to make money. That means jamming up an app while I'm trying to work, Charles. They're sitting there watching you do that. The longer Mike Neely sits in jail for something you did, the harder they go at you. The harder they go at you. And we all start going, please hurry up, please hurry up. We're sick of dealing with you. Everyone's sick and tired of you. If my guys can get what you just said, they got ears to the ground on all kinds of places. Charles, don't contact me. I don't like it. Charles, don't contact me. I don't like it. I have to repeat myself over and over and over, and you still will not shut up. You never shut up. It's unbelievable. I don't care what you think. You weren't asked. You were asked to leave me the fuck alone. I'm not in love with you. I'm not in love with you. You disgust me. You're just a butt-in. Always a wannabe, never the wanted one. Always. Every day, all the fucking time. This email was before my false arrest. Months. My false arrest was January 29th. This was in October. Every day since then, you've been recorded and recorded and recorded and recorded and recorded. Who has them? What are they going to do with them? You think they're just bored? You think they've worked this hard, this long, to just let you guys go? Not do anything about it? Yep, I don't think so, Richard. I don't think so. I really think you guys have no grasp on reality. This, again, I'm going to go, this was sent. Look at this. A false arrest, Charles. We all know you want to do a false arrest and it's not linked to me. I'm going to kill her and it's not linked to me. I'm going to take her car and ruin it and rob. You know, we'll ruin the car, we'll destroy the car, we'll wreck the car, we'll tow the car, we'll impound the car. And it's not linked to us. Nope, it is, because you're always recorded. Nothing has changed since this. I was arrested on the 29th of January. I put this out on January 4th. You're proving us out, Charles. Shut up. No one cares what you think. You were not asked. Charles, he's typing in my computer again. Charles, listen to the words I'm saying. You're pissing me off right now. No one cares what you think. You weren't asked. Please write that down. The judge is getting irritated with you. Having to be told the same thing over and over and over and over. I feel like I'm in the Alzheimer's ward of a nursing home as many times as she has to repeat the same thing and as many times as these guys have the same conversation after they've already been caught. You got Alzheimer's, Charles. There's no way. You don't have that. Okay, so this is what somebody who looks like he was in a fight. He was only hit 3 times. He didn't hit back. Everybody went home. Everybody's safe and sound. Look at his face. This man was not in a fight. Look at him. He didn't do shit. You can't beat a man to death with one hand. And he's got an IV in the right hand, by the way. That might be why his hand's red and swollen. What are you doing that you think you're fooling people? What are you doing? Charles, I will get my money back and I won't have to lie. My guys are taking care of that already. You have made a whole lot of money using my body against my will, and I've billed you $1,000 a day for getting entertained using my body against my will without my consent. Plus $2,000 a day for using my body against my will without my consent. They just got what you just said last night. From the McNamara email till now. And I said Mike Neely was drugged months before anybody else said it. Months before. Who is getting that information from you to me? Who is getting that information? You're not all there. You're not getting it. Come on. Keep up. You're very slow. It's irritating me. Who's getting the information from you to me? Who's getting the information from you to me? How am I getting that information beforehand? How am I getting... Charles, listen to the words I'm saying. You're not getting it. You're in a lot of trouble. I'm not going to keep repeating myself. You need to start keeping up with everybody else. I don't care what you think. I said don't contact me, didn't I? The more you contact me, the more problems you cause me, the more drama you cause me. You know, your false arrest, and you got to, we got to get her on socks. 6 years, it's fine to dance with socks on, without my shoes on. My feet are still covered. And it's not a problem until now. It's election season. It's election season. Now he needs to retaliate and harass his witness more than ever. Victim. We're not a couple. You fucking look like an idiot. It feels like sometimes we talk to the wall. Things get through your head that well. You click. You're smart as a wall. Things don't click for you, do they? Okay. So, there's no way he could have killed Chief Miller. And the longer he sits in jail, the harder my guys go at you. And the more people start going, please hurry up and arrest them. Please hurry up and arrest them. We're all sick and tired of this. Please hurry up and arrest them. We're all tired of this. We're sick of it. We're tired of it. Feeling raped and violated and forced and harassed and bullied into doing things we don't want to do. Now get the fuck out of my life. And if you don't, it will get worse for you. Same as it does any idiot that keeps driving 90 in a 50 and gets a ticket or a car impounded in jail and over and they never learn. Stop speeding. It's Charles. David, when Charles contacts me, it makes me want to scream. I hate it. You don't want to be caught so much. You don't want my guys going at you so hard. Get that bitch out of my life. Get him some chick in Vegas. Weird chick that has something in common with him. Because he doesn't have anything in common with me. And I would recommend you all stop right now before you make it worse for you. You guys are like in quicksand. And you just keep grabbing and grabbing and grabbing and trying to, and the more you do, you get caught. And then you get caught again. And then you get caught again. McNamara email was in 2015. Last night, here we are in 2021 and you're still getting caught. Charles, fuck off. Don't contact me. I don't like it. Start telling yourself the truth. Start dealing with, properly assess the situation. You look ridiculous. You look fucking ridiculous. How embarrassing for you. This man does not need to be in prison. You get him out or we will. Okay? You've had plenty of time. If we do it, you will not like it any more than the way you like what you just said last night. Richard needs my foot imprint. We got to get her back out of the club so we can get her shoe and foot imprint. Got to get her lighter. On and on and on and on and on and on. And David Robertson recorded, I'm paying you guys, just find something to charge her with. Subjugation, Lonnie Athens calls that. Domestic violence crime, emotional, psychological, economic abuse, physical abuse. Only 1% of the population acts like you. Can't keep up with everybody else. And just be normal. And the rest of us don't need to buy a cop or a judge, and you do. You're pathetic. Fuck off.